Some had him as a 4-star, but he's got ability. I've watched him throw. He can make all the throws, but until he gets out there where he's getting blitzed and he's reading coverage, you just don't right here, right now.
Again, Winston coming out for warm-ups. In show to look at their starting quarterback is senior Cole Stout. It was a
start with this Clemson offense, and we've talked a lot about the quarterbacks, but the receivers on the perimeter. Artavius Scott, a true freshman, and Mike Williams. Offense is 3 and out, and you know, with Sean McGuire on that 3rd down, a little bit surprised that they pulls his head up and looks to see where the kick's going instead of keeping him out from the sideline. Jimbo Fisher was jumping up and down trying to remind him, and this is just inexperience. That happens to a lot of quarterbacks. So I'm going to try to, again, just pat him on the helmet, tell him, hey, just settle down. You can see Jameis back there trying to help as well.
Time to check with Robert Flores for an update from the studio. Robert? Expect anything here in Tallahassee, Robert. Long delay there in Ann Arbor. So McGuire gets the timeout. Kirk, it's got to be huge gain on the screen before Corey.
Timing of this screen for an inexperienced quarterback was outstanding. Jameis knows it. Great call by Jimbo Fisher. This is more of a power back, more of a one-cut, kind of a straight line type of runner, and yet to really get on.
McGuire counseling the quarterback after that last series.
Say whatever you want about Jameis Winston from a football standpoint with this that they've recruited. Got to go all the way back to maybe DeQuan Bowers. It was the last time they recruited somebody as highly touted as Mackenzie Alexander. They thought he'd play last year, but of course he had that groin injury. 2nd time we've seen Anthony slip right through the middle of that offensive line.
As you expect.
2nd down. The only problem is when it doesn't work, now you're in 3rd down. You better be a heck of a lot better than LSU if you're going to get out of there with a win. 31-10.
So far they have been.
Yeah. All the hype about Ole Miss and Mississippi State and both of these teams. This is their.
That's 5 yards from the spot of the foul. Loss of down. 4th down.
Yeah, he was.
What I just say, the previous play, it's one thing to do it in practice when you.
All right, Kirk. As Jameis Winston
starts to feel that Jimbo Fisher's aborting the run. Everybody's watching his first half. Florida State has negative 22 yards rushing. They're struggling on 3rd down. The quarterback who stepped in right now is 6 of 17. They're in predictable.
Coach, what can we expect from the quarterback rotation in the 2nd half?
Worth remembering right now as Winston trots out, minus the pads in those track pants, that Winston's suspension this week, when it was announced on Wednesday after the Tuesday incident at the Student Union for that offensive and vulgar comment, it was just going to be a half until late last night when the administration cited a continuing investigation. Tom Rinaldi reporting that there may have been a discrepancy with Winston's account of what happened and what eyewitnesses said. And based on that, he sits out an entire game, Kirk. So how different would this be if the initial
hold this front 4 and this defense out of the backfield with Sean McGuire? So I think you throw initially. Brent Venables is going to do to combat
those. Take the 2nd half kickoff to the end zone, a point away from top.
Players on the sideline throughout this game so far, but in the locker room when the players first went in and coaches were still gathering, Winston, one of the players who stood up, he challenged the rest of this team, reminding them they're the #1 team in the country. Come out in the 2nd half and play like it. So
Winston, so a sack or a penalty and putting him back into these 3rd and 9.
Improved season from him. They don't use. Little redemption for the opening play fumble a year ago in Death Valley.
Criticism of these kind of offenses is they're on the half-yard line, maybe 3-inch line, and they're still back there.
Sure moments, but his 2nd miss tonight. Winston.
You can see if they can get that going again. He feels like
it's a lonely place for a kicker.
Man.
Tigers in this Clemson defense, Kirk, which got overwhelmed.
Saw in this 2nd half, and I think you'll continue to see, is being able to get the quarterback. It's about the 3rd time where he's just, obviously anybody would be frustrated with a quarterback. It just comes with experience. I mean, he knows better, but he's back there. Florida
He scored the last 24 points. That, of course, was pre Jameis Winston.
That's been the matchup the entire night. His
touchdown pass. Winston sprinting to him to congratulate him, because he's going to be a target if the Noles don't win this game. You better believe number 5 wants him to come back and win it.
That's ocean coming out of Jameis Winston right there. Excited that Green, his guy, makes a play, and he's
He'd been left him alone before that drive, but encouragement afterward. And Rashad Green just continues to torment Clemson.
Aggressive coach. He likes to mix up looks on 3rd down. He likes to bring pressure. Let's see if 2.5 minutes to go. Tied up 17-7. Forced it over the middle to Bobo Wilson. A timing round. Another Clemson safety waiting. We saw Curse make an interception earlier. This time it's Jadar Donson, and it gives Clemson really his quarterback coach and offensive coordinator. Boy, what an emotional night, emotional week down. But you remember, you got one of the best field goal kickers in the country. Take his chances with the field goal. And I even thought, just because of the pride that Jimbo Fisher has as an offensive coach and a play caller, just tells you how rocky it's been tonight with Sean McGuire back there. And it's not Sean McGuire's fault.
Up after the game with Robert Flores.
Well, it's been an eventful evening tonight with some of these scores that have come in too.
LSU hammered at home. It's a milestone win for Dan Mullen and the Bulldogs in Baton Rouge. And now we go to overtime. And clearly, Florida State has an edge in the kicking department. But which offense is in better shape?
Think about the red zone.
Sweeney gambled, but Chris Cashier and the Noles deep score wins it. Tiger defense. Fisher and the Seminoles once again make enough plays defensively and offensively to break Clemson hearts one more time.